Hello, class and students and teachers.
Hello, Mr. Kwame.
Thank you. You may be seated, please. All right. The homework that your teacher gave to you were on 3 living things. So let's have a look at those 3 living things. The homework that were given to you. What was the homework of the 3 living things given to you? A gecko, a tadpole, and a cactus. All right, your question was, why do they live there? Why does the house gecko live there? And why does a tadpole live in that habitat? So let's have someone to tell us. We'll have the first person, Emmanuel, to tell us. Then we will have Marian. Okay, Emmanuel, you're the first one. Tell us about the house gecko. Where does it live and why does it live there?
Because their body needs light.
Okay, that's what Emmanuel thinks. That was Emmanuel's answer. Thank you, Emmanuel. Any other things that you can add on to Emmanuel's answer? Why does the gecko live in the house? The house gecko. Why do you think it lives in the house, students? Angela? Would you like to add on to Emmanuel's answers? Why do you think the gecko lives in the house?
They follow insects to fly on the lamp. They follow insects to eat on the lamp.
Right, they follow insects. We have, at night daytime we have flies roaming around in the house, and at night we have mosquitoes, and then we have some moths flying around. They follow those things. Let's have the last one, Louis, and then we'll have Marian.
They live in the house because they like to eat butterfly.
Okay, thank you, Louis. Again, could you repeat your answer?
They like to live in the house because they moth. They want to eat moth.
They want to eat the moth. Yes, they live in the house where we live because they like to eat moth and the insects, like Angela has said. All right, let's move to the next animal. Thank you for those answers, Emmanuel, Angela, and Louis. Angela, your next animal is the tadpole. The tadpole. Marian. Oh, Marjorie. Could we have Marjorie? Where does the tadpole live and why do you think it lives there? Marjorie? Is there a mic?
In that tree.
Why do you think it lives there? Oh, sorry. It lives in the creek? Okay, why do you think it lives in the creek? Anyone would like to help Marjorie? Marjorie? Taylor? Okay, thank you. Taylor would like to help Marjorie?
Because they born there.
Because they were born there? Why do you think they were born there? Why do you think they were born there? Why do you think those tadpoles were laid there by the adult frogs? Or still thinking, we'll move to Donald.
They like to live in swamps because they can breathe. They like to live in swamps because they can breathe.
Because they can breathe. 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 Any other answers would you like to add on? Robert? Robert, why do you think tadpoles live there? Of course, they become frogs.
Because it doesn't have legs.
Very good. Good, when they are small, they don't have legs. Okay. All right, all your answers are acceptable. Good. But what is the most important thing do you think the frogs need to have? The tadpoles need to have before they become frogs. Like you and me when we are small, what do we need to have before we become bigger children and then later adults? Jason? Jason? Thank you, Jason. Jason is smiling. I know he has the answer. Tadpole.
Because they need water to survive.
Of course, they need water to survive. They need water to survive. And one thing, I'll give you a clue. Just look at me. Now you know it. So we'll have what? Somebody else here. Since you were thinking, we'll come back to you.
Because they can find their food in the water.
Right. They may have food. The water will provide them food. They also provide something else, but we will find that later in our lesson. Thank you, all of you, for those answers. And the last one is the cactus plant. Let's have a look at the cactus plant. Where do you think this cactus plant is found, and why do you think it lives there? We have somebody else. Christina. Thank you, Christina.
In the desert.
All right, why do you think it lives there?
Because it doesn't need plenty of water.
Okay, it doesn't need a lot of water. That is why it grows in the desert. Any other answers? Nora?
Because they store water in their leaves so that they can survive for a long time.
Very good answer. They don't need lots of water, but they store water in their leaves so they can survive in the desert. Very good. Thank you for all those answers, and I think you did your homework very well. So, congratulations to all of you and the students out there too if you did your homework. Good. We are on the new outcome. New outcome 6.2.2. Using diagrams and describe how energy moves through the living and non-living things. Our strand for today, on the same strand, living things, substrand, ecology, relationship, and interaction. Our lesson topic for today will be who lives there? Who lives there? Our lesson topic for today is who lives there and here. This is lesson number 1 of the 2 lessons that we will have. Right, before we begin, let's have a look at this picture again. A picture of a tree stump. a tree that has been cut down and the stump just left there. I'll give you just 30 seconds to look at the picture and what do you see? What is around the tree stump? What do you see there? What do you think you will find in or around the tree stump? 30 seconds. Discuss with your group. What kind of plants do you think you will find there? What kind of animals will you find there? All right. Our time is up for our discussion. Good. First stand up. Let's have Carol. What do you think you will find there? What plants, what insects or animals would you find around the tree stump habitat? Carol? Okay, we'll have Robert, then we have Carol.
Mushrooms.
Okay, mushrooms.
Grass and soil. Grass and soil.
Grass. Soil is always there. Carol?
Lizards.
Carol thinks we'll find lizard there. Good. Any other things that we would like to find? That we would find in there? Minoy. We'll have Minoy. Then Michaelin. Hookworms. Hookworms or earthworms? Okay. But we'll have earthworms. Thank you, Minoy. Michaelin.
Cricket.
Crickets. Okay, crickets. All right. This is some of. Thank you. I know you would like to give your answers, but we will move on. Thank you for all that. You can continue with the list later on. But those are some of the list of animals and plants that we will find around a tree stump habitat from the picture. So, the last question. Your last question is, what do you think? What do you think a community is when we are talking about habitat? What do you think a community is in a habitat? So, your question is what is a community? 20 seconds. Discuss with your friend what a community is. With your friends. Discuss. All right. Good. Our time is up. Let's see what is a community. So we will just draw a mind map. What is a community? We start from the first group there. Jason's group. What do you think a community is when we are talking about habitats?
A place where living things live.
Okay, next group. Thank you, Jason. Donald will speak for his group. Thank you, Donald.
Community is a place where people, plants, and animals live.
People, plants, and animals live. Next group. Last group. What do you think a community is?
A place where people live.
Place where people live. Marianne's group come up with place where people live. Marilyn. This group here. Okay, we'll have the last group. Ana Lolo will give their group's decision. Others listening?
A place where certain animals and plants live.
Place certain animals and plants live. All right, we'll just have these four. The other groups we will give the answers later. Since we are moving into our next activity that you will be doing for this lesson. All right, you talked about habitat in your last lesson, and today we will go out and look at some of the habitats. That is why you are asked to bring a stick which is about 1 meter long. So, yes, 1 meter. So listen carefully. Okay, our activity will be, are we listening? Listen carefully so you don't make a mistake or you don't do something that is out of the activity. You will visit a habitat and this is what you will do. You will list down the plants or animals that are found in that habitat. So, that is our activity when you are sent out to your habitat or area to have a look. These are things that you must consider when you are looking at the habitat. What kind of habitat are you looking at? And what kind of plants? You may see that there are same kind of plants, but there will be some there are same kind of plants, but they may be different in some other ways. The flowers may be purple, the other flowers may be yellow. Or you may have the same, you may find ants, but you will see that there are black ants, yellow ants, and orange ants. So you have to list those separately. Don't just say ants, because there are different kinds of ants. Okay. These are the rules that you must follow when you are going out. When you're out there, you do not pick up any living thing. Do not uproot the plant. Do not hold a caterpillar if you see one. Do not touch the spider. Some of them are poisonous or dangerous. They may hurt. If you come across, number two, if you come across a big pile of leaf or grass, that is when you will use your stick. In case we don't know, some dangerous animals are living in there. So use your stick to lift the grass. Check that there are no dangerous animals, then you can have a closer look. But if you get closer, if you find something there that is unusual or dangerous, you will report to the teacher. So your rule number 3, you have any accidents during your visit, you will report that to the teacher. And if you're not sure about anything in your visit, ask your teacher. Okay. I will give you only 5 minutes because you will observe you will observe in 5 minutes. Group 1, listening. Group 1, you're going to visit the pool and the rain pool, a pool that was formed by rain just beside the classroom. You know where it is? Just there, beside the classroom. Group 2 and Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, you will be going up towards the pond. But Group 2, you will be looking at the pond, Group 2. Group 2, you will look at the pond. Group 3 and 4, you will be looking at the flower garden. Group 3, you will move with Group 2 towards the pond. Group 4, you will remain here in front of the classroom where there is a flower garden along the spike fence. Group 5, you have the lawn in front of the classroom, that small area where footpath divides. Group 5, you will visit the old vegetable garden behind the classroom. Group 6, you will visit the drain along here beside the classroom. And Group 7 and Group 8, the rain tree next to the building, next to the ICT building, next to the building opposite, behind the clinic. Yeah. The rain tree. And the last group, Group 9, next to the fence, the shrubs there. Yeah. Okay, we'll have Group 2 and 1, 2, 3, this row. Before you move, when you move to your places, you do not go anywhere. You stay where you are. Understood? Do not go anywhere. You just stay where you are. And you will have, after 5 minutes, you will all return to the classroom. Let's have Group 1, stand. Group 1. Your groups in the beginning that you were organized. Group 1. Tahila, Group 1. Tahila's Group 1. Move. Those are your science group. Group 1. Move. Take a notebook with you. Group 2. Group 2, Anololos group. Group 3, Uvao. Group 4, Victoria. Five, Cassia. 6, Minol. Minol's group. Group 7, Ashanti. Group 8, Christine. Group 9, Jordan.
Orange black.
Orange and black.
Okay, find something there. Moving around the place. And steady there. Don't. 4. Long.
노래가 잘할게요.
Okay, you record that. What can you see on the tree stump? All right, you have been given a chart. On the chart there, on your chart, you will write the name of the place you visited, which is the habitat. So you write the name of the habitat you visited, and you list down all the things that you have found in that habitat. So your friends might have seen something that you have not seen, or your friends have written down something that you have not written down. So you put all those answers of the habitat that all the things, plants, animals that you found in the habitat on the chart. So I'll give you 2 minutes to do that. You're just transferring. No, you don't write rubbish. If you say rubbish, there's a lot of things that makes up rubbish. So rubbish can be leaves, paper, cans, things. Was it a log or a tree stump? Man, you have all your list there. Write it down. Why are you? Quickly, we're running time. Yes, what do you? Yep. Fingerlish. You sick. All right. Good. Some groups are working faster, and our time is almost up. Finish off what you're doing. Okay, good. The first group is ready to tell us what they found in their habitat. We'll have Ones and his friends to present what they found in their habitat. So students out there, you can do that if you have been out to a small habitat around your classroom. We'll have Onea and his group to present theirs. Okay, Onea? Okay, come. Thank you. Let's go. All right. What did you find? Tell us your habitat, which place you visited, and what did you find there? What type of animal and what type of plants? Listening? Speak up loud.
We visited pond habitats. We found tadpole, fish, dragonfly, water lily, and water beetle.
Very good, thank you. The pond group. Give them a clap. A clap. Okay, we have Jordan and his pal here ready to present theirs. Then we have Emmanuel and Ana Lolo. Show it to them.
The place we visited was at the corner of the fence. And the things we found are butterfly, grasshopper, lizard, snail, bees, grass, and stones.
Very well said. Thank you, Jordan. Explained nicely. You must explain like that so everybody can hear you well. Thank you, Jordan. Let's give a clap for them. Hey, everybody, give a clap for them. Okay, we have Ana Lolo and the next group.
We had visited the garden, and in the garden we had found mushrooms, grass, palm trees, butterflies, bee, red ants, bats, spiders, flies, snails, and a hibiscus plant.
Very good. Thank you, Ana Lolo, for explaining that to the class what you found. Give a clap for them. Okay, we'll have the last group. Unfortunately, time is running out. We'll have the last group. We'll have Michaelin's group. Don't worry, I will collect all those after. So write your names at the bottom. Come to the front quickly. All right, Louis and Michaelin to present for their group.
Habitat we study is under the rain tree. And
Good.
the things we found was moss, fungi, blue butterfly, black red ants, spider.
And spider. Okay, thank you, Louis. Very good. Give them a clap. All right, let's give 3 big claps for us. I see all of you have done well. 1, 2, 3. Write your group names at the bottom, so I will collect that after the lesson. A question for you. I have a question for you. Before we finish, a question for you before we finish. Are we listening to the question? Class? All right, the question is, after listening to all your friends, after listening and visiting, after you visited the site and listening to your friends, what is the most interesting thing about those habitats? Think about your last lesson and this lesson, your previous lesson. Or what was interesting about the habitat that you visited? And what is it interesting? Why do you think those plants and animals live in that place? Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa.
Food.
Okay, interestingly, food. What else do they need? Elizabeth?
Water.
Water. Okay, they need these plants. Water. 2 things are still there, but I will leave that for you for homework. For homework, what other 2 things do they need? Plants and animals need food, water. What other 2 things do they need? Or what other things do they need to live? They need food to live, water to live. What else do they need to live? Your second question for homework, students. what do you think community is? After you went and visited the site, what do you think community is in a habitat? So that is your 2 tasks for your homework. We shall finish our lesson here, and our summary points for you to copy down. Summary point number 1. And our summary point number 2, second summary point. Our key phrase for today, class, teachers and students, is habitats outside my classroom. Okay, we looked at habitats outside our classroom. Teachers, our next lesson will be the second lesson, who lives here and who lives there. Lesson number 2. Materials which you will require are large chart, markers, and the information that you have collected today in your lesson on the places that you visited. That will be done in our next lesson. So those are the things that you will need. With that, thank you, class, students and teachers, for your participation.
Welcome, Mr. Padoni.